Hi, everyone. It's Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and happy Monday morning. We are back for another edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where every Monday morning we talk about what's hot and what's new in U.S. immigration. So let's dive right in. Today, I want to talk about a little bit of H-1B, some TPS, and getting citizenship for children born overseas. So in terms of our H-1Bs, a couple months ago, back around October of last year, we talked about a more restrictive H-1B regulation that the prior White House administration had released, and that rule would have changed the definition of specialty occupation for the H-1B. It would have placed new restrictions on the placement of H-1B individuals at third-party work sites, and it did look at and changed the contract and itinerary requirements, again, for those H-1Bs that are being placed at third-party work sites. Well, that rule is no longer in existence, and in fact, DHS just late last week, took this rule, formally removed it from the law, from the code of federal regulations. So at this point, that rule is completely gone, and it's not something that we need to be concerned with. So that is the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about this morning. So all of the swirling and rumors about the H-1B rule and the change to specialty occupation that is now over for now. That has been formally taken out of the CFR, so that's not something we need to worry about. Now, moving on, still on H-1Bs, the second thing I wanted to talk with you all about this morning is currently there is a proposal in the federal regulation to look at and accept and choose H-1B applications and give a priority to those applications that have higher wages. So there has been much ink spilled on this issue. There is a lot of talk about this issue, and is that fair? Is that allowed under the way the current rule is written? We now have court case. We now have litigation that has been started. Lawsuit has been filed to essentially stop this method of choosing H-1B applications because essentially it's not allowed for in the current writing of the rules and the regulations. So that piece of litigation is out there. It has just started. I will keep you up to date as it goes on and winds its way through the court system. We have seen DHS announce a delay in this particular rule's effective date until the end of this year, December 31st. And this piece of litigation is really trying to get this rule ended and completely taken off the books. So we will see what happens. But again, this rule has been published. It has a delayed effective date until the end of this year. So we will be watching the litigation very, very closely. The third thing I wanted to talk with you all about this morning is TPS was granted for Haitians this Saturday. So clearly the Biden administration is indeed working on the weekends. So we have a new designation for TPS for Haitian individuals. Individuals that were in the country as of May 21st of this year can now apply for TPS. So we are just waiting for the official application for them, and when we can officially start to send those in. So we hope to get guidance on that this week. But as you may or may not know, TPS is temporary protected status. It allows individuals to remain in the country for a temporary basis. Usually the government allows up to approves TPS for in increments of 18 months. TPS is granted when there is a situation going on in a home country that is really beyond the control of the nationals of that country and would put them in a perilous condition if they were to go home. So examples of TPS in the past, reasons for TPS have been natural disasters like mudslides, earthquakes that have just really harmed the country and just honestly doesn't make sense to send people back at that point. So we are now looking at a new designation for TPS for those individuals that are from Haiti. TPS allows individuals to apply for work authorization. So if you are an employer out there and you are looking to hire someone who is a Haitian national who may not currently have work authorization, but they're eligible for TPS, this may be a way for them to get work authorization and for you to lawfully employ them. So that is great news for everyone. We also have some really good news for children that are born overseas to married parents when the children were born using assisted reproductive technology. So if a child was born in vitro, or the parents used a surrogate. If that child is born overseas to married parents, they may now gain U.S. citizenship. That process is done through the U.S. consulates overseas, which we all know the consulates are managed by the Department of State. So that is fantastic news. Previously, we had to jump through a lot of hoops, and there have been some very, very vocal court cases recently that have all really culminated in this decision by the Department of State. So that is incredibly exciting news for parents who are using assisted reproductive technology and their children are being born overseas. So that is fantastic news that came out last week. The last thing I wanted to talk with you all about today, I touch on this every couple of weeks as I get an update, our local mask procedures at our local immigration and biometric offices. So we now have a little bit more guidance from USCIS and DHS now that the COVID-19 vaccines are rolling out. And so I want to read this. They have said everyone 2 years of age or older who has not been fully vaccinated must wear facial coverings. A person is considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after receiving the last recommended dose of the vaccine. So that comes directly from USCIS. So if you fit within that category, and you are 2 years of age or older and you have not been fully vaccinated, you must wear a facial covering when entering your local USCIS office or when you're going in to get your biometrics taken. Keep in mind, there still may be some local mask mandates that the individual offices will be subject to. So it is always best to check and see what your local mask mandates are. If in fact you are unsure, just err on the side of caution and bring a facial covering with you in the car, in your pocket, whatever. And if you need to, based on a local mask ordinance, you can certainly just pop that on. Better to be safe than sorry. So that is all I have today on this edition of Beyond the Soundbite. I wanted to kind of keep it nice and quick for you all. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop those in the comments. I do go back and look at them. Just use #replay. And if you have found this interesting, feel free to click like and click share with any friends or colleagues that you think may find our Monday morning chats interesting. So this is Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and this is another edition of Beyond the Soundbite, and I will be talking with you all next Monday. Everybody have a wonderful and productive week. Bye.